Colby, you know what's nice?
What's that, Barry?
To know that rich folks got rats too. That's just, I don't know. I didn't know what to quote from this movie.
There's a lot of quotable lines in this movie.
A lot of them is from Ving Rhames.
Yep.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Healthy music.
Welcome, one and all, to a brand new month of Who Watches This podcast. This month, it was my choice.
Yep.
And the theme for this month is, they did what? We're going to be talking about movies that directors did that you probably did not know about.
Right. Because I actually, even though it says it, I still was like, don't think I realized that this was...
Yeah. Well, we can say it. We haven't revealed the movie, but we can say that I did not know, and you didn't know. You obviously were around for this when it came in theater. I was too.
I may have seen this in the theater.
Oh. But yeah, today's movie is one by Wes Craven.
Yep.
Who we didn't know was a like an ally, I guess you could say. He did this movie, and then he did Vampire in Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah, he was putting people of color as the heroes. I get, is that the most political correct way to say this?
Right. No, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. And it was interesting because the heroes. I won't.
Yeah. Oh, well, here let's do the first segment so we can finally reveal the movie for the first movie for this month. Point Dexter, but his nickname is Fool. His family is struggling, and that ain't cool. Until Leroy tempts him with the possibilities of cash, he ultimately makes a decision that seems rash. With the devil's attitude that seems to not care, will he survive within the people under the stairs?
Yup.
We were talking about the 1991 Wes Craven movie, People in the Stairs.
Under? Is it?
No, it's People in the Stairs.
Oh.
Which no, People Under the Stairs. Jeez Louise. That's the most PG thing I'll say all day.
Because I feel, like we were saying, I feel if somebody who was like, hey, that movie, you know who did that? And I would have been like, is that a Stephen King short story? Yeah. That's kind of how...
Yeah, but even with Stephen King, too, I feel like a lot of his protagonists have always been just like white people.
Well, yeah.
Until recently, probably. Yeah.
Yes.
But,
I think of his, but that's all of his stories all seem like...
They're in Maine, so...
Yeah.
Not a lot of...
Right. So it's just kind of that's the demographic that lives there, so that's why it's...
That's an easy way of saying it, this is made in this area.
Right, yeah. So
Vermont.
Right about Wyoming. I mean, maybe every once in a while you throw a Native American in there, but you're pretty much white.
Yeah. Or I don't know if you've ever seen The Blackening, but there's a line in there where just not a lot of people play spades in Vermont. But no, yeah, it was really cool, man. I gotta tell you though, I watched this as a kid, and it really messed me up as a kid. Because it's a plausible, obviously there's his bigger, more famous things is Freddy Krueger,
right?
Scream,
yep,
and all that stuff. Well, Scream is also within the realm of possibility too, but I was just I feel like I could knock him out. You gotta get me super vulnerable to catch me off guard, I'm naked or something. But people under the stairs, it's happened in real life. Have you ever seen that video of that woman that was living in this guy's apartment, in the crawl space?
Yes, they did a movie about that, which was based on true stories, but they're They actually it's such a common occurrence that they have a name. They're like frogs or something like that.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's like this
terrifying.
It's people who like basically break into your house when you're not home.
Yeah.
They just make a little living space in your attic or in your basement, some room that you don't frequent.
Yeah.
And they live there for 6 months to a year, and then they move on to the next house.
It is crazy. I know it's not squatters, because squatters are people that live in like abandoned places.
Yeah.
Or like homes that haven't been occupied in a while.
Right.
But yeah, no, like, and watching this as a kid, I was like, oh, I used to remember it too. It was just like, man, it couldn't be me. I'm here. I live here now. I live in the walls now. But yeah, today we're talking about the 1991 movie People Under the Stairs, starring Ving Rhames, which was really cool. Like,
right, it's one of his earliest movies.
Oh, right. Brandon Quinton Adams, who was I would say a child star in the 90s.
Oh, he was one of the Mighty Ducks.
He was one of the Sandlots.
Oh, yeah.
The Sandlot kids. Yeah. You don't really see him too much now, but yeah, he was kind of all over the place. He was in Quantum Leap, Moonwalker, Boy Meets World, Martin, he was just all over the place, and kind of sad I don't see him as much because he was a pretty good actor for a kid.
Right. Yep.
He didn't go the Drew Barrymore route.
Yeah.
He's slugging drugs. Who else is brilliant? Oh, Bill Cobbs. A pretty big name.
Totally. Yeah.
He has I feel like he was. I was like, in my head, I was like, are you like Morgan Freeman's like younger brother? Just because it's like, I feel like Bill Cobbs, like, although he is really famous, he should be like, with his like the timbre in his voice, very distinguishable, almost.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just maybe it was just Morgan Freeman was always in the audition rooms like, next time, Bill.
Right. Just always one out. Yep.
It's the John Cho, Bobby Lee situation.
Right. Yeah. Sean Whalen.
Oh yeah.
He's that guy that like he's in 100 things, and I wouldn't have been able to tell you his name, if,
But his face.
I always remember it. This is gonna be so dumb. The milk commercial where he's eating peanut butter. And,
yeah, I remember that.
And he's like,
You got milk commercial?
He's in a museum, like a Raymond Burr museum, and he goes to call for to win a radio thing.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And he got the peanut butter in his mouth, and the milk is empty. And the commercial ends. Because he's got peanut butter, he can't say it.
Yeah, he's relatively famous.
Right. Yep.
Because you're always gonna know who he is. But yeah, this movie was, man, terrifying for me as a kid, because I believe when I watched it, I was probably like 8. I was probably around, maybe not around the same time as Brandon Quinton Adams age, but really close to where it's going to be like, that's terrifying.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, man. Because I think it affected me way more than it did, Freddy and all that stuff.
Okay. What's do we know the time range between but because this was 91?
Yeah, 91.
And then when so we may have already had 2
Yeah, I think we're
Krueger movies out, 2 Nightmare on Elm Streets out.
I think 3.
By then.
Okay. 3 to no, I think it's like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Wes Craven's New Nightmare came out like in 93, 94. So like, yeah, he already had Dream Warriors under his belt.
Okay.
But this movie is a ton of fun. I guess we should just get into it. A lot longer than I remember it to be.
Right?
Yeah, it was like an hour 45. But movie starts off with a overshot of like Los Angeles. We are in probably the ghetto of Los Angeles, maybe somewhere around downtown Skid Row type of area.
Right. They do call it the ghetto, so.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we get a kid reading a book. It's Fool. His real name is Poindexter, which I was like, oh, a little oxymoron. Okay. But no, he's reading this book. I don't know. I should have looked up what the book was, but I don't know it anymore. But what's it called? His mother starts coughing, and he goes into the room. It's like a tarot reading that's happening. His like,
that's
his
right.
like cousin or something, and she's like, "Fool, go back to reading your book." And then he goes back to sits down, but right next to him is Leroy, played by Ving Rhames.
Yep.
And he's like, "Man, I'm not gonna do the voice. I was gonna start to do I was trying to do my Ving Rhames impression, but he's like, "What are you gonna do, fool? Huh? Y'all about to get kicked out? Yeah, you guys already late on rent."
Right, and they're like, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. Well, we'll just pay it." And he's like, "Nope. The fine print in the contract is if you're 3 days late, it's 3 times the rent."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's why rent-controlled apartments in New York are so important.
Right.
They're so coveted that every cop-based show in New York, there's always an episode of a tenant getting murdered by the building owner.
This may be like in New York.
No, this is in L.A.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in L.A. I recognize.
Okay.
No, but yeah, because then like if it was rent controlled, then they couldn't do anything about it. But no, Leroy's like, "You want to make some money, kid?" And that's never a great thing to hear for a child, because it's like, well, it's the Peter Quill situation. You got these little tiny hands. You can get into places, It's
right, and you're under 18, so it's juvie, not jail.
Exactly. It was funny. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 with a couple friends, and we had this same exact situation. I was playing a dwarf, and they're like, "Hey, these kids stole my stuff." Door knocker. That's my character, because he's a door. I have another campaign. The guy's name is Kneecapper. But he's like, "Can you fit in there? Because only the kids can fit in there, and you're a little tiny." But yeah, that's usually what it means when a criminal is trying to coerce a child into a crime.
Right.
Same thing happened in the drug movie Fresh, where they always use kids as drug mules.
Yep.
So, but they're like, Leo was like, the people that own this place, they own about like 50 properties in Los Angeles, and they got gold because we found a map behind this liquor store that we just robbed. I was like, "Yo, man, like this is treasure hunting at this point."
Yep.
I'm not gonna take how serious are you gonna take a map that's behind a liquor store? That's like those what's it called, those
I gotta say, I probably would.
Yeah, would you also call the number on a bathroom stall?
Not again.
For a good time. Oh man. So, but no, the next day, they start casing out the place, and it's we do get a small introduction of the people that they're about to steal from, and they feel like it's almost weird. They feel like hillbilly posh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they're Southern people trying to be British.
Right.
The way that the way that they're talking and everything, but they're like, "Oh yeah, one more family to evict, and we could turn that place into a condominium, and then we can make hella money."
Right.
Which downtown LA, yeah. Oh, especially today's market, that's like generational wealth.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, the next day they go over there. They're like, all right, fool. You're gonna go in there with your Cub Scout uniform, talking about cookies.
Hey, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice way to.
It would only be more believable if he was a girl, because the Boy Scouts try to sell you really expensive popcorn.
Yeah, every time I go shopping and they're out there, I just feel bad.
Yeah,
like I want to buy something, but popcorn just really sucks. And not in like if you're not in a movie theater.
Right.
Right, because the kernels get stuck in your teeth, and you're sucking your teeth the whole day. Like,
yep. I always buy bags of microwave popcorn, and then like a year later, I'm like, I gotta throw this out because it's expired.
They made it easier though because they started selling the little flavor dust in the supermarkets. So that's made it a lot easier. Look, I have it on my desk right now. Garlic Parmesan.
I recognize that bottle.
But no, so Fool goes around the corner because they're not answering in the front door. He goes to the side to try to knock on the side door.
And he's scoping the place out.
Yeah, he's scoping the place. You gotta do your research, you know. And he's even like hitting the pond, like he's like putting his hands in the pond, which is kind of gross.
Right. Yep.
And then all of a sudden, this wily looking white lady comes out and like, excuse me, what do you want? And these people are racist because then like they say like early, like a little bit earlier, like you know the black people have robbed the liquor store again. And all that stuff. So,
and they didn't say it that politically correct.
Yeah, they did not say it that way. So she is super apprehensive about Fool being around, and so she's like, "I don't want no cookies. Bye."
Right.
Right. And so he goes back into the van. He's like changing, and right now we are introduced to Spencer,
yes,
who is Leroy's partner in crime. It's this white dude.
He's the guy who owns the van.
Oh. I hope robbing is the only thing he's doing with that van, because it looks like the free candy van.
It is. It's pretty bad.
But what's it called? No, so he's like, I got this. So he dresses up like the guy from Barbarian, which I was like, man, I guess that's like this,
right,
either robber / serial killer outfit pretending to be a utility man.
You know what? No way in hell would I let them in now without some kind of whatever, some pre-warning, something like.
Yeah.
But I remember being like 12, and like the water guy, the gas guy came by to like check the meters, and like my folks were just like, yeah, come on in, have a glass of orange juice. I know it's hot outside, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, you know, they also let you like, hey, come when the lights come on.
Right. Yep.
Don't be in the house.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah, it was a dangerous time back then. It was a trusting time. I'll say that.
Right.
Right. But no, this
like maybe the crime wasn't higher, but parents were just like, "Hey, if only 1 out of 300 kids gets kidnapped, that's acceptable." And now we're like, "Whoa, that number's way high." Yeah.
But no, and so yeah, he's trying to get into this lady's home to try to scope it out even more. And she's like, "Well, do you have a identification?" He does. He pulls it out, and she's like, "Okay, fine. Come to our basement. Right. That's where the thing is." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he goes in, and Leroy and Fool are outside, and like, he's taking too damn long. Damn, I said I wasn't gonna do it. Well, he's like, he's taking way too long, right? And then he notices that the lady of the house,
right,
has now got into her like, what is it, like a 1956 Chevy?
Right, it's kind of a cool car.
It's old school. That thing gets 5 miles to the.
Yep.
But it could also rip apart a Toyota.
It's made of steel.
Yeah. And so they're like, "All right, Fool, we're gonna go in there because Spencer might be hiding everything."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Spencer's taking all the good stuff before he lets us in.
Yeah, yo, I know him. So they break into the house. They're able to just what's it called? Leroy has a crowbar. He's like breaking all these windows.
Right, and they notice that all the windows have the locks on the outside.
Yeah,
and they're
weird.
Like, "What?"
Yeah,
it's like keeping people in.
Yeah, that's what I would think. But like, you know what? There's already a lot of weird stuff that people say about this house.
Yeah,
and now they got padlocks on the outside. Right. I don't think we should mess with this. At least not without an army. At least with the crew behind me. You know, like I need like people to come check me. Like,
yeah.
But I know they break in, and at first they're like, "There's nothing here," but then Leroy is like, "Nah, there's something here." And he pulls on something, and it like opens up this whole like section of the house.
Right, yeah, because they kind of get into like a sunroom.
Yeah.
And there's just like some pottery stuff and little gardening things. It's nothing.
Yeah, it almost feels like if they cleaned it up like a really nice nook, you know.
Right.
Like, this is where we have brunch.
Exactly. Yep.
No, and so they start exploring the house. Right. Leroy ends up going upstairs. Oh, sorry.
And there's a dog.
Oh yeah, there's a dog that they're able to trap on the outside.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So they go into the house and they trap the dog, Rottweiler, I think. Yep. in that like sunroom.
Yeah. And that's when they're able to go ahead and explore the rest of the house. Leroy ends up going upstairs. Fool does notice some small things, like there is a doll on the floor, and then it all of a sudden disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's definitely like, that dog is going to eat us, so we should just try to find a way out. And Vin Rames is like, nope, not if Spencer's finding gold. We're not leaving till we get our share.
Exactly. And Leroy, Fool starts to explore the downstairs, but then he notices one door. He's like, oh, it's the downstairs door.
Yeah.
And so he goes downstairs, super creepy basement, and he's like kind of looking, and he starts to notice something moving. You know, he hears something, and he finds a TV that's propped up against the wall where there's a hole.
Right.
In there, and he's like, well, you know, that's weird. That's strange.
Yeah, and the TV's on.
Yeah, TV's on. It's not working too well, but it's like, you know,
like old black and white TV. It's kind of giving the news of
something, the outside world.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, who am I to judge? You know, I used to watch the Spice Channel on Static.
That's true. Yes, some scramble porn. Yes.
Oh, I think that's a boob.
Not important. Salvador Dali porn.
But I know Fool starts to check everything else, but then he finally runs into Spencer, who's knocked on the ground.
Yes.
And is already like super pale. It looks like he's been there for like at least like a couple of days. And he's like, "What are you doing, Spence? What you doing over there?" And then he unfurls his hand, and he's like, "It's a gold coin."
Right. He's like, "Oh, whoa, Spencer's not lying."
Right? Or Leroy's not lying.
Leroy's not lying.
So he's like, he tries to drag Spencer like out of the way, but then something pulls him back towards the wall, and he's like, "What is going on?" And he finally pulls him out, and he sees Spencer's hand is like all eaten.
Oh yeah, all the flesh is mangled off of it.
Yuck. And he's like, "Oh man!" So he rushes.
And it's still at this point, he's like a little bit like, maybe that could have been done by the dog.
Yeah, something you're not really wondering until he starts hearing things like behind the wall.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh hell no! I'm gonna get out of here." So he runs upstairs, and then he notices that the lady of the house, who I'm not gonna call them by the name that they were calling each other because that's weird. Oh, her name is just Woman. Right. Woman and Man are the antagonists of this, and you're like, "Oh, shoot, they're here." So he rushes upstairs. Oh no, well he tries to get out of the basement, but then the basement door is like locked.
Oh, yeah, he's like going up the stairs, and he steps on a piece of string, and it locks the basement door and then smooths out the stairs, so he slides back down.
Yeah, it's like a mousetrap.
Yeah. Yep.
But then
Home Alone.
Yeah. But then it raises back up, and he tries to get out. He's banging on the door, and then a girl opens the door.
Right.
Who we did see prior to this whole situation, and I was like, it's a gross thing that's happening with that whole situation. This little girl, I mean, the man has probably assaulted her.
It's certainly seems
likely, you know, especially when Woman is not there. It's probably what's happening. Which, I mean, this is also like a fairly like loosely based on a story I think that happened in Germany, where like a German man had like trapped his daughter in the outside bunker,
right,
in the underneath thing, and then she ended up getting pregnant with a couple kids, and they look like the people under the not to that extreme, because you know, but no, so like
incest does not make the best looking children.
Yeah, incest is indeed not wincest, as the internet likes to say. Weirdos. So Fool goes upstairs, and he sees Leroy's body just on the floor, and he's like, "Oh man, what happened?" He goes over there, and he scares Leroy's like, "Dang man, what the heck?" I was listening to something. And he's like, "We gotta get out of here, man. They're back over here." And so they start to scrambling and stuff, and then the man and woman find out that there's people in the house.
Right, yeah, because they pull up, and then they see the van.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hidden from the street, but it is in their driveway, so it's very obvious once they pull in.
Yeah. So they start to try to break that steel door, which they later fix really quickly. This man is super huge though, because that fool is like, they got a man the size of Detroit, which I don't know what that means. They got a man big as Motor City. And so they kind of start to scramble. They're trying to find a way to hide or get out of the house. Unfortunately, they can't, so they sort of brace for this dog coming in.
Right, yep.
And Leroy was like, you stand over there, fool. You act as bait. But then when it comes, I'm going to knock him out.
Oh, yep.
But then the dog comes, and then he looks at Fool, and the dog is like super calm. Until he sees Leroy, starts attacking Leroy, and then they get into the whole thing, and then Fool looks like he might be able to have a chance to get out of this whole situation and leave Leroy behind. But Fool is a good person.
Right. Well, he does try, and then he touches the doorknob, and it's a shocking doorknob.
Well, that was like when they were still trying to escape. The dog hadn't come in yet.
Yeah.
And so Fool starts to drag Ving Rhames towards the door, and he's the one that he's like, all right, touch this. I would have been like, touch the door, the dog will get shocked. No, he touches it to act as a conduit.
Right.
And then so the dog kind of gets electroshocked, and then so they are able to escape at this point. At this point, man and woman are in the house.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, Prince, what happened to you? That's the name of the dog.
Yep.
And man gets the shotty.
Yep, he gets a sawed-off shotgun with a bayonet.
Yeah, and there is no birdshot in there. It is all buckshot.
Yep.
And so they scramble upstairs. They're trying to find a place to hide. Leroy finds like a little cabinet he can hide in, but he's like, sorry, ain't no room for you, kid. I was like, man, see, you should have known, Leroy. Or you should have known, fool.
Right.
So Fool goes a little bit.
I know, like we said earlier, like the whole kid thing is there's probably a much less likely chance that the guy is going to shoot a kid than a large black man in your house, you know. If you came home and there's like an 8-year-old in your house, you're going to be like, swat his ass and kick him out.
Yeah, I'll punt that kid.
But yeah. There's a large person in your house.
Oh yeah, Ving Rhames is like what? He's huge,
bigger
right?
than us.
I gotta look up how big Ving Rhames is. You know, I'll count 2 to 3, like maybe like 3 inches, just because of he's older now, so he probably shrank. He's 6 foot. I give him 6'2" in his younger days.
Right.
You know,
but a solid 6'2".
Yeah, he's a solid 6'2", 280 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
He's like Shaq's little brother. That's such a weird thing to be like. Yeah, Ving Rhames, you're like Shaq's little brother. But no, man finds Ving Rhames and pops him like 3-4 times in the chest.
Yeah.
Falls down and he starts celebrating like, yeah, I got him, woo. Yeah.
Right, because at this point, they don't know that there's a little kid.
Yeah, they do not know that. At that point, Fool is able to sneak into the vents because he sees something. He notices the vents are big enough for him to fit in.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Or small enough for him to
Or small in him to only for him to fit in.
Yeah.
And he notices the girl, and so he goes to the girl, and she's like in this. I was like, how big is this house that they have an abandoned wing?
It's large.
Yeah, because this portion
looks
of
bigger.
The house,
It's Harry Potter's tent. It's bigger on the inside.
Because like this portion of the house looks like he stepped into Silent Hill. Because now Alice is like in this like sort of a run down portion of the house, and he's like, "What's like, dang, what the heck is going on in this house?" And she's like not frightened, but she's startled.
Right.
You know, and like the Fool is kind of picking up on that energy. You kind of do when you're like not white. Like I remember, I was like in the area for a bit where it was just mainly white people, and I kind of felt like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. My friends also have had this situation. I have a friend that before when he moved here from Guam, he had to live in Florida for a bit. In Florida, in a portion that there was mainly white people, And so he was like, I felt like the coolest kid in school. He lived more inland of Florida.
Yeah, yep.
And then he's like, then I moved to California, and then I felt like nobody. Because he's like, what, you never seen a brother before? And she's like, I never had a brother. No, I mean like black. She's like, no, it's very, very, what was it called? Flowers of Algernon.
Right. And she doesn't give much, but she basically is like, no, I've never left the house.
Yeah, she's like, I've never been outside.
Yeah.
Which I was like, ugh. Like, how, like, she's not even allowed to open a window, so she's never had, like, fresh air.
Right, yeah.
It's really cool, because, like, later on in the movie, you do see her get to the attic, and then, like, a window's open. And, man, this now, well, she just got divorced, but prior, she was a count. She had married into royalty. Yeah. But, like, she can act, though, because she was like, man, she let that air hit her face.
Yep.
And you're like, man, that's how it feels like every time you get out of work. You're like, ah. Well, you know, you can do that anytime you work remote, so you can just step outside for a little bit.
But that's true. Yeah.
No, but then, what's it called? Man and woman, they go outside to the van. And they're like, it's just the two of them. And then woman finds the Cub Scout uniform.
Oh, yeah, she's the Cub Scout uniform. Yeah, she's like, oh, no, there's one more.
There's one more kid in there.
Yep.
We gotta get him. And so the whole like next hour or so of this movie, it's a huge like cat and mouse game. Right? Because like before, what's it called? When man starts banging on the door that they're in, he didn't want to go into the walls because he was scared. I mean, anyone would be scared. I'm not going into the walls.
Right, and they make the comment that Roach is the kid who's running around the wall.
Around the wall, inside the walls.
Yeah, and he had the girl has made the comment that he escaped from the basement into the walls, but man can't catch him because the walls are too small for him.
Yeah, and Prince can't catch him.
Oh yeah, and they do try to let the dog through the
through the walls, but he's too slippery. He's made a Home Alone situation in between these walls.
Right. And
so now Fool is stuck in the room, and he's able to elude man once he kind of gets into the room. I believe, because what's it called? When he turns around, Alice is no longer in the room, and he tries to go into the wall, but now it's like shut.
Right.
And so he's able to sort of dodge, like dip, duck, dodge this man for a little bit. Yeah, until Roach pulls him into the walls, very reminiscent of like a Freddy Krueger scene.
Right. Yep.
Obviously, man can't get in there, so he sends Prince in there.
Yeah.
But they're able to dodge Prince.
Right, because they have the little dolls that the girl makes,
mm-hmm.
and they put it on like a trap door, and when he stops to pick up the doll, he falls through the trap door
into the kitchen.
Right, and it comes rolling out in the kitchen.
Like, where is Roach getting all these materials? But they go into the Alice's room to sort of reconvene until man and woman go in there. Roach is able. He lets off a couple shots. Roach is able to get into the walls, and the kid gets captured. He gets thrown into the basement and behind like a portion of the basement is like cut off.
Yeah.
And it has like a fence.
Yeah, it looks like you would like be keeping like a barn fence, like you'd be keeping animals behind it.
But that's where we first get a super clear look of the people under the stairs.
Right.
And they have never had the sun touch their face. And they have almost like a Cro-Magnon like facial structure. So like what's it called? Like prior to like the way I remember this movie, I thought all those the people under the stairs were their kids. But they were actually kidnapped children.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like
they don't necessarily say. Some of them may have been kidnapped children. Some of the ones that have like the more chromatic
Neanderthal.
faces may have been
Well, because like
their children.
Yeah, the only reason I thought they weren't was because like later we see in a room there's a whole bunch of pictures of kids.
Right.
In their like child form, and I was like, oh, maybe that does it if you like put them in a basement for like 10, 15 years. And they're eating people. So.
Well, right, yeah, and you're like, yeah, totally in the dark.
Yeah, and you're eating humans.
And you're eating people.
Yeah,
that's their.
But they really don't show too much aggression to Fool.
Right.
They're until like what's it called? The man goes upstairs. He's like, yeah, they're gonna eat you up. And then all of a sudden, in this like trap door that leads to the sewer or something, the Ving Rhames' body pops up.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, well, before that, what's it called? Sorry, I forgot to mention. After they get caught in Alice's room, she makes Alice clean up the blood, which she then like falls into in her white dress.
Right.
So while this is happening to Fool in the basement, she's making Alice take like this scalding hot bath.
Right. Yeah. That was the part I hate to say it. That was the part that freaked me out the most on this movie because that bath water is steamy. It looks like it's boiling.
Yeah.
And she just like throws that girl in there and is like, "You scrub your skin, you
dirty whore."
Yeah.
You dirtied up the dress I made for you. Yeah, because like later when you see her back in her room, her whole body is like red.
Right. Yeah.
Like she had been like suntanning the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, Fool was able to escape from there because Roach pulls out Ving Rhames' body from the sewer dump, and it's like propping it up like an animal, and so Roach opens the lock. He gets him out, and then they hide in the furnace.
Right.
And they're but then what's it called? Roach is like he pulls out a bag, and it's like a bag of gold coins.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're giving this to me?" And Roach is like, "Yeah." He can't really talk because later earlier you did see that he had his tongue cut.
Right. Yeah.
Which I distinctly remember as a kid.
Oh yes. Yeah. He talked back to the man.
Yeah.
So the man cut his tongue out.
Yeah. Which one thing that we did, one of the best things we learned from Ichi the Killer, is that if you keep exercising your tongue, it will grow back. Which I don't know if it's fact, but hold on, let me look that up. All right, well, I guess I didn't learn anything at all because it cannot grow back.
But I guess you could get more control over the stump that's left in there.
Yeah, so then you kind of just you have obviously now it's a speech impediment.
Right, yeah.
But you can at least try to exercise what's left of the muscle. But no, what's it called? And so Roach he writes Alice onto the furnace.
Yeah.
Letting Fool know like can you get her out?
Yeah. Because Roach is dying because
he got shot.
Yeah, man. Basically, every time he hears a sound in the wall, he is like super frustrated that Roach is running the house. So he's just blowing holes.
Yeah.
In the wall trying to shoot him.
Well, I figured he got blown up when he got caught in Alice's room.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like a pretty close call. It was funny though. A woman like earlier, she did mention she's like, he's just in the walls, doing his business. God knows where. That house smell like shit. Because if I was Roach, I'd probably just, it's funny. There's an episode of Futurama where Fry's like, oh, I've been pooping everywhere like an animal, and Leela's like, animals would poop in the corner. He's like, the corner, Jesus. Which lets you know, because this house doesn't smell like shit, that like Roach is pooping somewhere sanitary,
right?
For the most part. But no, yeah. So Roach ends up dying, but he's able to grab Alice again in her room, and then they're able to shimmy up to the attic.
Yeah. But
man and woman know that now they're in the attic, and so, but there's a window open, and so Fool is like, "Yo, we gotta go," and she's like, "No, it's a straight drop," and he's like, "No, we could drop into the pond. I saw that there was a pond, and I think that's deep enough for us to survive."
Right.
And she's like, "No, I don't know what's out there," which is like, like if I was Fool, I'd be frustrated.
Right, but she's never never left the house,
Yeah.
and all the windows are like filmed, so like they've got like a filming like or like they're like frosted.
Yeah.
So it's not even like there's not even like really a clear view of anything other than the backyard.
Yeah, so like I was like, yeah, so I was like, but then I get why she's like kind of freaking out about this,
Right.
right? Because it's she's like, they're my parents. This is all I know, and I think that's what I think that's what love is, which is really sad. Because I listened to enough like murder podcasts where like they have the situations like this, and I'm like, that's just super depressing. Like, and like that's like she's after this movie, like this child would probably need to be in therapy the rest of her life.
Oh, absolutely, years at least.
But no, Fool has to make his escape because Alice is she's just not doing it.
Right.
She's freezing. So Fool, he slides down the roof into the pond.
Yep.
And that's when man sees he does that. He rushes downstairs, tries to shoot Fool, but then Fool is like, "I'll come back for you, Alice. I promise."
Right, and he's running away,
Yeah.
and woman comes out and is like, "You know the rules about shooting your shotgun outside,
Daddy." And this whole time, that's what Fool has been like hearing, mommy, daddy,
right?
Them calling each other that. So he finally gets back to his house. He goes to his grandpa, Bill Cobb's.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, what do you think? Like how?"
And he's got the
coins,
the little coins. Yep.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's what he's like telling him. He's like, "What do you think? Like how long can we pay off rent?" And he's like, "Well, this will get you by." And he's like, "How far?" He's like, "To the year 2000." You're like, yes.
Right.
Like, how much money is that? It was like only like 5 coins too. They must have been like those like 50K coins.
Well, yeah, because he says that he's like, "Oh yeah, these coins are super rare."
Yeah. No, we find out why they're so rare later.
Yep.
But but Fool, what's it called? He's talking to maybe his sister or his aunt, and she's like, "Don't do anything stupid, Fool. Like, you survived that place."
Right, and hey, and we have enough money that we can get mom into the hospital.
Into the hospital with the surgery, and we can pay rent. Probably even if listen, if it was me, I'd move out of that place and move to a little bit better place.
Yeah.
But Fool is like, "Nah, I made a promise. I gotta do something." Yeah. So he goes downstairs to the payphone, and he calls CPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the brother, the man and woman know that Fool is gonna call the cops, so they clean up the house. Because the next scene we see is a whole bunch of cops, which I was like, man, this is a really big turnout for CPS. Usually they send like maybe 2 people.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess you say, hey, there's some crazy people who have like a bunch of kids.
Yeah, in the basement.
In the basement.
And one probably, being assaulted or something.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So
right, because early on she says something, and woman says to man, "You discipline your child," and he starts to like undo his belt.
Yeah.
And she's just like, don't leave any bruises on her face this time.
Jesus. Yeah, that was a really dark scene for this movie. Like, you knew what happened. It was like, oh, Wes.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's an ugly truth that, it's just really sad that happens. But no, so like the police come, they survey the whole house, they're looking through everything. But these people, very, very Dahmer-like, like every serial killer is.
Right.
They're able to sort of like, oh, well, you said you had no children. It's like, well, our Alice isn't with us anymore.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we have a child's room because, we've just never come back in. We haven't had the strength to clean it.
Which, you hear, you see it in a lot of media.
Oh, definitely.
Grieving parents and all that stuff. They
Right.
leave their deceased child's room
Yep.
the way it was. And so, so everyone leaves the house, and woman's like, oh, if I see another copper cookie again, it'll be too soon. I don't know what makes me more sick. Like, man, I don't know. Cookies are kind of delicious. And so, no, they start to, they go the woman mentions like, oh, I couldn't watch the door all night because the cops kept coming in and out.
Yeah, right.
You know, so they start going upstairs, and all of a sudden we see. I was like,
Oh, well, yeah. Before they go upstairs, though, he goes. The man says, "Don't worry, I know the kid lives in the ghetto. I'll head down there tomorrow, and I'll make sure we take care of this problem."
right? You know, he was probably gonna pay off like youths or something to do it, like gang members or something. So, oh, another tragedy in the ghetto, another ballad for Tupac to rap about. But no, and then all of a sudden we see a fool pop out of the cabinets.
Yep.
Which I was like, yes. But in my head, I was also like, man, I would have been out. Sorry, Alice.
Yes, right. I made the phone call. I tried. I tried to do the follow up.
I did my part.
I'm not sure I'm going back into the locked house.
Nah, but a fool is more of a hero than a lot of people could be, especially at that age.
Right. Yep.
And so he gets a fire poker, and he's like, yes, right. You gotta, when you're that small, you gotta attack when they're at their most vulnerable.
Right.
So he hears them praying, and he's like, oh, it's kind of blasphemous to kill somebody while they're praying, but sometimes you gotta take your shot when you can. But then when he looks into the room, it's a recording.
Yo.
And he's like, oh my God, these genetic defects. These what's it called? These products of incest outsmarted me, a normal human being. No, and this guy, man has been in and out of a gimp suit this whole movie.
Right.
And so, yeah, but and so he's trying to trap Fool again, but Fool is able to escape into the walls again.
Yep.
Yeah. But he overhears that Alice is up in the attic, and she's like hanging on something.
Right, because they had made that comment when after the police left. They're like, "How did you keep the kids from making any noise?" And he was like, "Oh, I horse tranquilized them all, but I didn't want to do that to Alice, so I tied her up in the attic." Yeah,
and so he goes over there to check if Fool is there.
Right.
All right, but Fool's in the chimney.
Yes.
And he kind of knocks he's able to free Alice out of that whole situation, but then the man comes up, and man, he's like touching himself, kind of, and woman is like, get here, get back here. The woman's probably tried to stop him from doing it, but you could tell there's like all that jealousy.
Yeah.
But it's so gross.
Yeah. Or it's hopefully it's like more of
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. But no,
definitely a take care of me first.
Yeah.
Kind of situation.
But Fool's able to get out of the chimney and then bring Alice into the top of the rooftop or whatever.
Yep.
And that's where they kind of do like a little Home Alone situation, because man and woman notice that there's like dust from the chimney coming up, and they're like, they're in the chimney, and so he like throws a brick on him. He like loses sight of his shotgun. It kind of falls to like the side, and then they start sliding down, and then Fool like sticks his fingers into her like nose,
into the woman's nose.
Yeah, like, trying to dig real deep, like lobotomy style.
Right, because she's trying to choke him as he's like trying to go down the chimney.
Oh man! And then they get to a section of the chimney where like Fool's like, all right, this is gonna lead. It's downstairs. You just gotta hit the switch, and you can get out of here. And she's like, well, what about you? And he's like, I got business.
Right. And then you're like, nah. My brain was like, there's still a bunch of kids down there. He's going to like superhero this and try to save more kids. But he also knows that there's gold somewhere.
No, because then like he doesn't, I think he was just trying to free the kids, because the people under the stairs were the ones that like presented him. Like he's like, remember, he's like, oh, you want to give me a gift? And then he shows him like the gold room.
You're right.
But like, when he gets to the basement, he does get caught by the man, and then a whole funny little bit happens, because like as he's about to kill him, people keep knocking on the door, and at first it's his aunt.
Yep.
And then it's his grandpa, and then it's the whole neighborhood.
Right. The aunt's like, You slumlords, you can't be doing this. This isn't right. We're people.
Yeah.
And then they close the door on her, and then Grandpa's like, police, and they're like, oh, police?
Yeah.
And they open it, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not really the police, but I needed you to listen to the rest of what she has to say.
Yeah, the neighborhood is like, you can't shoot everybody. And then what's it called? Fool is able to sneak behind the whole cage situation and hide from the man, and the people under the stairs are like, oh, we're gonna give you a gift, and then here's this room,
Right.
and it's like it's Scrooge McDuck level.
It's basically
cash reserves.
It's like a room that is the safe. So it's like just piles of these gold coins everywhere.
Cash.
There's tons of cash. Some neat, some in like wadded up like balls.
Yeah, it's almost like a vampire safe. There's also like these candles, which I was like, that's not safe around cash. And I think there's also drugs in there. Later we do see like a whole like little chemical section.
Right.
But Fool
and a box of dynamite.
Yeah. And then what's it called? The woman gets knocked out because Alice pops from the ceiling onto her and then like just like slams her head onto the floor.
Right. Yep.
And they're like, "Oh my God, what have they been doing to that little girl? She's all dirty." It's jarring, honestly.
It is.
Yeah. And they try to like what's it called? The aunt tries to investigate what's happening, but then she like pops out because a woman disappears.
Yep.
And then when she pops outside of the house, the doors close, and now it's Alice versus Mom.
Right. And then once the doors close, everything locks.
Yeah, because like the way that Fool is able to convince Alice to finally get out of there is because he tells him like, those aren't your parents, you were kidnapped.
Right, and she doesn't believe for a minute, and he's like, no, that's why everybody's in the basement. They're bad. They're just like, and they just go get a new kid.
Yeah, and you've been good this whole time because you're like, oh yeah, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil.
Yep.
And so Alice now is like kind of facing off against like the mother or the woman, and,
right.
and what's it called? And Fool is sort of facing off against the man.
Yeah.
But Fool is able to inspire the people under the stairs to use all of Roach's like his network of hidden passages.
Yes.
Because they start popping out of everywhere in the house.
Right. Every wall.
Yeah, and I remember this scene distinctly.
This was also a disturbing scene. Yeah. and it's even worse because they all kind of almost look like zombies because they're so pale and well, some of them have like luscious hair, but I think that's just because of the era. But
it's all the people that they've been eating. Yeah, I mean, hey, honestly, like after this, they should just go into like the goth vampire scene because they would be like the supreme.
Right.
Oh my God, how'd you get so pale? Is that makeup? You're like a goth god. No. And they're able to help neutralize woman. They end up killing her and eating her.
Yeah.
Which again is also another disturbing situation. Man is finally able to get into the safe or figure out that Fool is in the safe.
Right.
And then he's like, "Where are you, Fool?" And then he starts to hear coins clatter.
Yeah, and Fool full on MacGyver tricks him.
Yeah, because it's funny. He does say like, "Oh yeah, you just letting the gold coins fall through your fingers. I do that too sometimes." And then when he finally notices it, Fool puts a whole bunch of coins into candles.
Yeah.
And as the candles are burning, it's like dropping the coins. So it's enough time for him to sort of maneuver around him.
Right.
Because there's also dynamite in here. And he's like, kind of a stupid place to put dynamite if you ask me.
And he makes the comment that there's electrical wires for a burglar alarm.
Yeah.
But he had Vin Raines had taught him how to disable one.
Yeah.
But they're still active wires, so then he kind of hooks those wires up to the dynamite.
Fool has a future in electrical engineering.
Right. Yep.
To figure that out as an 8-year or like a 12-year-old or something.
Right.
This is the black Kevin McAllister. But he means business. And what's it called? A man is like, fuck it. And he tries to kill fool. He's like, nope. The
Big
whole
boom.
the whole house explodes. Cash goes out of the chimney.
At some point when he's with Alice, there's some place where he tries to leave, and Alice is like, "No, you can't leave there because they put a bomb at the."
Oh, it's on the roof.
And you see like the sticks of dynamite. So like, once the one dynamite goes off, it kind of like train reactions, and you're like, boom on this side of the house, boom on this side of the house, and yeah.
I mean, hey, it says a lot about these like old school Sears build-it-yourself houses, because really, fool probably should have died as well from this explosion, but he does not. Man does, because he takes the full brunt of it.
Full brunt.
Yeah, he's in the sewer with Spencer and Leroy.
Yeah.
And the whole neighborhood is just like grabbing. It's like one of those money tornado machines.
Right.
They're just grabbing coins, and then the people under the stairs kind of just take advantage of the chaos. All I could really think about though is like, now they're just gonna be homeless, or maybe maybe somebody, I don't know who's gonna help these people that don't know how to function in society, because they kind of just scatter.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost a cute scene as they're like in the crowd of people who are like scrambling to get money, and then just kind of look around and like sneak off one this direction, one this direction.
Which is like, I was like, because they don't even understand the value of like the money that's there,
we don't know if they even speak the language.
I mean, being in a basement 10, 15 years at such a young age, you probably never developed that.
Right.
You're riddled with Freon. I think that's the bacteria that you get from eating people, like humans, when you cannibalize things. It's like human mad cow.
Right.
Or something like that. I mean, they're coherent enough to know that fool wasn't like a bad person.
Yeah. And
they helped him. So, but yeah, it was crazy. And then like, Alice comes downstairs and she's like, "Oh, are you like, how are you feeling?" And he's like, "I feel like $1,000,000." Because now he's at ground zero.
Yes.
Of all the money.
Right.
So I'd be like,
and
just get the coins.
Explosions don't make gold coins go away.
Oh yeah. So man,
it may turn into shrapnel, but they're still there.
They're still Well, I think the money is in the mint of the coin. Yeah. But still, you sell that off whenever you just need a little cash here and there. Like, well, I do need a full year's salary, Here, can I have my $50,000 now? Go ahead, tax it 38, whatever.
Yep.
And the movie ends right there. Let's go to our different section. We have a high star and a low star. Colby?
We got a 10 out of 10. I expected cheesiness and was pleasantly surprised. I always expect cheesiness because cheese makes things better. I rented this movie for the sheer fun of watching a really bad horror movie. Well, needless to say, I was very entertained. I still can't get over the acting ability of the cast. They were very good. The mother especially, very talented. Even the special effects were neat. One thing I had about the movie, did the father have to wear the bizarre S&M suit? Very odd. Anyway, rent it and be entertained.
Oh, he doesn't know about the the sexual gratification of gimp suits.
Right.
I don't get it. And then we have 1 out of 10. Wow. I cannot believe how bad this movie was. I don't know what I just watched. Why would someone make this? Why would Wes Craven write such a stupid story? Everything in this movie was terrible, so laughably stupid. There are numerous moments that felt like they came straight out of the Three Stooges. I was dumbfounded. I started laughing a decent amount, but I didn't have the patience to consider it hilariosity. Pretty close. Yeah. You're probably looking at this from the lens of 2020, which is the year he watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I can understand Yeah, like it's a little cheesy. There's parts where it's very like slapsticky,
Right.
But like if they redid this movie today, it would probably feel a lot like Don't Breathe. At least for the thriller portions.
Right. I was thinking, what's the one where the girl's getting married?
Oh, you're not you're next. I mean that there's that too, but yeah, they're playing hide and seek or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's like the family's like trying to hunt her down.
Yeah, I forgot what that movie is, but it's with Samara
So it's like
Weaving, I think.
right. It's off of like the name's like a kid's rhyme or a kid's game.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
though. Yeah, it has like those aspects of it. I mean, I like that they did this like in the '90s, just because the themes of this movie, if they were done today, it would just be so drab. It would just be so dark and heavy.
Right, and
You
everybody'd
know?
have a cell phone and cameras, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot
Like,
of that
like
out of.
well, the way that you could kind of write it in the story is like, oh, there's cell phone jammers in the house,
Mm,
but you can definitely take the photos and all that stuff, and then if what's it called? If Fool was able to escape, he just bring that to the house
right.
or to the police. Like, yeah, I broke in, but look at this. This is way worse. So it would all have to be done in one shot. I think the portion of when he came back, it kind of shows how, he's a good person just in dire straits.
Right.
That
Yeah.
he had to resort to do some crime to help his mother out. But I think that portion was able to showcase how good of a kid this Poindexter was.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and so I think it was perfect for its time, just because it had moments of levity with the whole like slapsticky him just like shooting the walls in the house.
I,
It's like, this house is riddled with holes.
it was. Yeah, he definitely had some carpentry skills because the holes were all seemed to be covered up by the time the police got there.
I mean, yeah, the door was fixed.
Yep.
That he like tore down. He like dented the edge enough for prints to come through.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another situation. Fool, yeah, they did end up what's it called? Fool was able to get the man to accidentally kill the dog,
Oh, right. Yeah.
which was like, the dog does die. I mean, he wasn't an evil. No dog is evil.
Right.
We can't ever blame pets and animals in here. They're just products of their owners.
That is so true.
Yeah. Any portions of this movie that you like really stood out to you?
I oh man, it's a great movie. I'm trying to think of, yeah, like I said, that S&M suit, the gimp suit. I don't know if we ever mentioned this. It's mom and dad, but you find out that they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
And it's I guess the background story was the house used to be
A mortuary.
a mortuary, and then over like these generations, the family that owned the mortuary started buying
Property.
real estate,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to basically raise the rents and stuff so much that they can tear stuff down and make apartments so that we can make them even more money. But in that, they've really confined themselves to this house and very much been an inbred family for
Yuck.
generations now. And they're so grandpa's like, you say every generation is a little bit more crazy than the previous one. He's like, even when I was a kid, we didn't walk down the street where that house was at because that was,
They would snatch you up.
Yep.
Well, they wouldn't snatch him up. We saw the people under the stairs. They were all white, and they were not friendly to minorities.
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, if a house has like sort of that whole like reputation, you're definitely like, I'm not gonna walk by there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might do it if you're in a group. Well, they can't kidnap everybody, but then when you keep doing that, then you start getting comfortable.
Right.
And you're like, I could walk down here by myself, and you're never seen again. Right. The only thing that's left of you is your shoes. It's like on the floor where you got kidnapped. The kid that gets you that fast, you know. Super crazy. Yeah, I love the main. I like the main actor. You know, he was pretty prevalent during my whole childhood. You know, Mighty Ducks was a two,
Yeah.
two and on 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. However many Mighty Ducks movies they had. I think he was partnered up with Keenan Thompson, the knuckle puck.
Yes, yes.
Like I think they came onto the team together. Ving Rhames was like funnier. He's a little bit like, I mean, he was kind of like, he wasn't always like, he wasn't as serious as his like more latest roles are. I do like it when you get to see Ving Rhames in a more relaxed comedic.
Right. He plays that tough kind of gang boss,
like mob boss
so well that he's kind of almost pigeonholed himself into that.
Yeah.
Even when he's like in like the Mission Impossible movies, he's still playing that same kind of part.
Yeah, he couldn't like finesse it like R.I.P. You know, Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
You know, where he was able to be Kingpin in the Daredevil movies.
Right. Yep.
But then he was also the guy from The Green Mile. He was also like in The Finder, that one show, that one Bone spinoff that had a season. But like it's also because Michael Clark Duncan has like sort of like that smile, like the Jolly Green Giant, like
he can
smile.
He can. It turns it into like a baby face.
Yeah. Which is such a weird thing to say of a man of his stature.
Right, yep.
And Ving Rhames could kind of get into that if he would just do more comedy, more family-based things. I would love to see him in a comedy, like a family-based comedy, like a very Bernie Mac situation. Remember when Bernie had his TV show?
Yep.
It was fun to watch him in like a funny, like comedy thing. Well, I mean, that's Bernie Mac's whole thing. Right, but like to see, I would love to see Ving Rhames play like a grandpa. Yeah. Like like you know when they did like the bucket list with Morgan Freeman and stuff like that, or
they do like another Friday movie and he's like somebody's grandpa.
Oh right, because you know
and he's always mad because they're not barbecuing the chicken right or something.
Right, just really take off from where like John Witherspoon. And the other reason like he's like, man, I took over this barbecue place and there's nobody buying for beer. Like, and, you know, and it's like what's it called? It's like Craig's grandpa from The Other Side or something like that, or it's
right.
Oh man, they did talk about it. Cat Williams did talk about how they wanted to make another one, but it just hasn't come. And then obviously with the passing of John Witherspoon, they're like, just maybe it doesn't feel right to not do it without him, because John Witherspoon again is also like a legend in his own right too. Yeah,
and he was such a big part. Even though his part was small in those movies, it was such a iconic part of those movies.
Yeah, because even in the second one, he's like maybe in that movie a total of like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and every moment he chews up the scene. Yeah. All right, well, we're coming up to the end of the episode.
I got a couple like interesting facts. First one, like you said, is it is very loosely based on a true story. There was a true story about. Actually, I think the story was somebody broke into a house and then got killed, and then in the police investigating the killing of the person or the break-in, they found that there was children that were basically chained into the basement. And so it was kind of, this story is loosely kind of based off of that.
I know there was a major one in Germany that had that, and I think there was a Lifetime movie based on that one too.
Right, and that may be and then in the original script, the part of Roach was, as they call it now, non-binary, but it was a genderless role. It was supposed to be just this kid that you didn't really ever come face to face with, that was in the walls, and Hilary Swank auditioned for that. But when when the guy who got the role,
Yeah.
that I can already not remember his name. See, I told you. When he auditioned for it, they were like, "No, we're gonna change this role because he's so good at what we want."
Yeah, to
Like,
portray. Yeah.
yeah.
I think because Sean Whalen, I just looked it up again. Yeah, no, like his portions, even though they were small, it had like a lot of heart to it.
Right.
Like, like I think maybe that's also like one of the deciding like motivating factors that Fool wanted to keep his promise to get Alice out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like that was probably a way better thing on their part, just because I feel like during this time Hilary Swank was probably pretty young.
Right.
Maybe like in her teenage years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that would have carried the same as a Sean Whalen. And Sean Whalen was really young in this too. He was probably early 20s.
I think he was like 30.
No. Just has such a young face.
And he has such a young face.
Is he really that old? Yeah, I gotta look this up. He looks like he doesn't stress. That's why. He's 59. So what is that? Like 1991? 64. Oh, he's like 27.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, yeah, he looked young.
Yeah.
He has that face. Oh man, that's great. No, that's
which
really
also
cool.
I'm like, you could even if you knew it, you're like, oh, they've had kids, they've been collecting kids for that long that you've got a 27-year-old that's running around in your house.
In your house, pooping wherever God knows where. Oh man, and then like I was saying before, the actress who played Alice ended up kind of retiring from acting. I think the last thing she did was Private Practice, the show, whatever.
Okay.
2013. She got married at 2014. Because I want to look at what she was doing now, and yeah, she had married some count in Europe, in London.
Impressive.
And then like the count's father passed away, so she became Lady Countess, which is kind of cool. But then they recently got divorced.
Oh.
Yeah. 9 years, not too bad.
Nowadays, that's a good run.
Especially for royalty. They had 2 kids, so now they're forever royalty.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't matter. All right, we are coming up to our hour. I want to first say thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months down below. We have months like Robert Pattinson month.
We get a live action
anime month.
Yeah. We have a live action video game month.
Yeah, we got a space debris in space.
Not Marvel DC superhero month.
Spaghetti Man.
Oh yeah, that movie's so good. And Super, my goodness.
Yeah.
James Gunn.
That probably could have fit into this month too as well. And now obviously we have all the holiday theme months, the most important ones, Christmas and Halloween.
Right. Yeah.
If they keep making Thanksgiving horror films, then we'll probably have a Thanksgiving horror film month, which would be really cool.
Right. And hey, we've got some odd theme months. Like we have a month on libraries. All the movies are library based.
Exactly. We have what's it called, like foreign, like certified fresh foreign movies or something like that. Yeah. We've been doing this for a while, so we have a lot.
Yeah.
But the way
so you have a lot to listen to catch up.
But the way that we do our reviews, that we have it in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you going to go for this one?
To me, this movie definitely got major rewatch value. I would love to own this. I would probably go Blu-ray, because I think everybody in this at this point has done enough stuff that you could collect like interviews and a bunch of bonus material.
Yeah, I think that would be fun too. They'd probably pull up things that like inspired the movie, like maybe like little mini documentaries of like, well, Wes said that he was inspired by this real life case and all that stuff.
Right.
And,
yeah.
They don't have to do anything to the quality of the movie. I feel like the quality is what it is for an older movie like this.
Right.
Which is fine. I just think it would be really cool to be jam packed with a whole bunch of like extra stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that would be fun. And I love the movie poster art for this. It's like classic, like hand, like painted.
Yeah. Total 80s. Fright Night. This. Frighteners, like all those.
Yeah, all those classic movie posters. Oh man, but thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out all of our socials.
Yeah, we got our Instagram, our Facebook, Twitter, the Threads, TikTok. We're slamming down some TikTok stuff.
Talking about movie recommendations and breakdowns on TikTok.
Yep. Showing our favorite parts, our favorite scenes, and what you should watch.
I'm trying to do a weekly horror movie recommendation on there. So if you guys are stuck on horror films,
absolutely, yeah. And then you see our beautiful faces. We've also got a YouTube channel that we're working on. We're working on it. Yeah, you keep watching.
Our YouTube channel right now are the people under the stairs. Unfortunately. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out our does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.